reasonably happy to get all this out here. Hello everyone, we're back trying to get the TZR stripped down. I'm not quite sure how much I'm going to get through today. There's a lot of this stuff that I don't know about. I've never taken any of this off before, so it's going to be really difficult. My main goal is to try and get the electrics off today. If I can do that, I'll be happy, but I'm really not sure how it's going to go. So might as well crack on and see what we can get done. Electrics, this is all the stuff at the front. I'm just trying to capture where all the routing goes. I'm not quite sure what goes on here. I think this whole control is, I don't think you can detach that. So my plan is to bring all of the electrics forward through this gap. Go back in here, then there's the fuse box in there. The main loom goes on the inside of the frame here. There's some bits that spin off, but that's on connectors, that's fine. A whole stack of connectors here. We've got a connector for the oil level, a connector for the air pump, so those can come off, connector for the flasher unit, and deep in there the regulator rectifier, there's connectors for that too. And then we'll get this off, and I know the Zeal we can disconnect. Not sure about the rear lights or the indicators. There must be connectors for those somewhere. So I'm going to take this back off. We'll go and have a look and see if we can start unclipping stuff and getting stuff moving forwards. Yeah, let's give that a go. Right, let's get the seat off. Now this glove box, although it looks like it should come off nice and easily, it really doesn't. So you have to actually loosen this. We've done that before, so I'll do that again. Okay. Get this box out of the way now. The glove box, as it's called. Yeah, there's a connector for that. Okay, let's try and get all that. And obviously here's the Zealtronic, and there's connectors in there for that, which we can take off quite easily. And even connectors for the switch that goes to the front, to the handlebars for changing the ignition map and the power valve map. Okay, I'm going to try and disconnect everything now. Right, I've got all these different colour little cable ties. I'm going to use those to help me with the electrics. So let's make a start. I've got these two blue ones here. If these were the two that went in that connector, so I just tie a blue thing around here, and then a blue thing around this connector. Doesn't matter where. Then when it comes to reassembling, I'll go, ah, that goes in there. Right, so I've got my kneeling pad, because people were mentioning about me crawling around on the floor. So next thing to do is to look at our Zeal, and this one I am not going to label, because if I needed to label this I would need shooting. Right, take that off, push it on the back of that latch. There should be nothing stopping me from removing this in its entirety. There you go. It's all cabled up. Put that in the parts bin. Back to the Japanese Phillips 2. That's out of the way. Let's get this loom off. There we go. We're getting there with the loom. Now I should be able to remove this entire rear subframe. So 4 bolts either side. always worries me when I'm taking this apart and I see that there are really new fixings, because I think, oh my god, it's been apart before. And while now we really value these TZRs, you can imagine that towards its end of its life, or its perceived life, it probably didn't go through hands of people that were no expense spared maintaining the things. Okay, so I've never taken that off before. Let's carry on with the loom. Right, that's everything cabled up. This one here doesn't seem to go anywhere. So I don't know what that is, but I'll have to redo that tape by the looks of it. And of course, the most important thing before you do anything with electrics, which I forgot to do, is unplug the battery. It'd be good to hit all these with some contact cleaner. So this loom, we can start to take off some of these cable ties. That's good progress so far. Happy with that. I think thermostat next. First thing to do is carefully unplug the sender. If this thing breaks, it's a real pain in the neck, so I'll try not to break this. Let's undo the thermostat housing, and then we should be able to wiggle this out. There we go. Let's get the fuel out first. That one. And then all the way down in the front carburetor. There you go. Now this has got some tricky routing, so I need to pay attention to this. It goes through this here, which is attached to the top of the cylinder, which in itself doesn't need to come off, but just need to note where this goes, because there are no easy diagrams to show this. I'll put that in the parts bin. So the boost bottle, everything's in the way. Okay, that's off. Do we have enough out of the way is the question to get this electrics going forwards. Let's give it a go. Let's see how we get on. There's an electrical wire that goes all the way over here. Ah, that's for the brake switch. Goes into this guy down here. What I'll do is, because I'm going to take these off anyway, I think I'm just going to loosen these off to get behind it more easily. There's the rear brake switch. I don't think those unclip, So let's just take it off as a complete unit and send it through the frame. There's plenty of room. And then how does this come off? Okay, right, that can then come loose. Use an Allen key to undo an Allen bolt. Let's try this. Oh, there we go. That's fine. Now that is free. Our brake switch can come through. So that's in there. That's free. Let's get this off the end so it's not so heavy. Okay, that's off. I'll put that somewhere safe. So this is all free. That's all free. There's a little cable tie there, which probably isn't connected very well. No, that's just come off. So this was a brake switch. I don't really remember there were two parts to that. Never mind. Let's get this undone. I think what I will do is I will just check the brake switch and see if there are two parts to it. Well, I'm sure there is, and then cable tie these together so they don't get flipped around the wrong way. Yeah, so they should definitely be that way round. Let's just cable tie them on top of each other so they don't accidentally turn themselves around the other way. Okay, let's get this entire bracket off, I think. It's pretty straightforward. Links into there. And then we can undo the electrics from here. Right, let's get those fed through. Right, now those are through. There's, what's this? Right, that's the throttle position sensor. I wonder if it just disconnects. Ah! So, more connectors in there. Let's pay attention to these. Now, the one I'm looking for goes to the TPS, which is this one. Does it just pull apart, or is there some other form of sorcery that keeps these two things together? Probably there is some sorcery. Nope. Push fit. Right, okay, so that is over there, that's fine. Variable air jets. Let me just start labelling some of these. Okay, right. There shouldn't be any more need for this box. Little fuse box out of the way. Okay, so that's all the front. So that's this clip on now, and the horn. So that can come off in one piece. So don't need to worry about that. This one here, that's the ignition. So that can come off. These are interesting cable ties because they have, you can reuse these, undo them and do them up. I've never quite worked out how to do that. It clips it to the frame. So that's probably the easiest electrical connector I've ever seen in my life, where you just stick a screwdriver in the back and it comes out smooth as butter. Let's just pop this one out. Okay. Now I think I need to disconnect the throttle cable first. Oh, probably need to go and find that. And you'll notice that somebody has accidentally cabled some bespoke cable around this. Oops. I wonder if I can get that through and undo my mistakes of a previous life. What do you think? No, that's not going to fit, is it? Wah Wally. Okay. Let's just undo this. Yeah, so you can imagine this is why I am uncomfortable with electrics, because I just make such a horlicks of it. Maybe that will go through. Yeah, I think that will go through. Okay, let's put that thing back where it came from. Using the correct JIS screwdrivers, you can really do things up properly. Right, let's have a look at the connections on this coil. Right, I think what I'm going to do on this one, I'm going to do it double colours to indicate that that's the coil. And although it may be, how the hell am I supposed to remember that double green means the right hand coil? It's on the video. Coil's going to have to come off anyway, but for now let's just do the electrics. So that's the coil that side, and I'll do double red for the other side. Okay, let's just take this entire bracket off, which is going to need to come off anyway. So I need to take the choke off. And we can see how this comes off. Okay, that coil and this bolt can go together. So this is detached itself. This is the neutral light. So I'll get a couple of markers on there as well. Of course, electrical, we do have a alternator to worry about. So let's get that off. Is there one easy connector for this? No. That's a lot of work. Because I'm going to have to take this off to get to all the electrics behind it, to get these two pickups off, and those are just the ignition pickups. There's also the alternator in there that's generating power. Right, let's get this off. A little bit of persuasion, didn't it? So the next thing is to pull this off. I've got a puller to do that. It comes in 2 parts. I haven't used this that long ago, so the threads are already greased. Screw it on. You screw it on the wrong way round, so it's anti-clockwise. I'll probably nip that up. And if I hold that, then it's just a matter of pulling it off. Nice and simple. Right, I need to get all of this off because this area is going to be heated. So we'll take this off next. Okay, that's that off. So I'm not quite sure, short of dropping the engine, which I can do quite easily, I'm not quite sure how this is going to go up through that hole there to come out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start disassembling the carbs up here, which is going to give me a bit more space. I only need to take these screws off, release the carb tops, then I can take the carburetor off, release the choke, and I'll do that on the other one as well. This tube on the back here goes to the air jet, the variable air jets rather. So let's take that off. The variable air jets are there, and this supplies, it's got 2 separate solenoids in it for different fueling scenarios. Okay, that's one carburetor out. Just need to take the choke cable off. Pull out the choke. That's the carburetor free. So let's get this front choke off. I'm paying a real careful attention here to all these different tubes and the way they go. And this choke cable here, I can see where that's routing, so let's just take that off. The choke is out there. Now, go around the other side and carefully remove all of the choke apparatus. So here are the 2 cables connected to here. So that one goes to the lower. I'm not going to be able to get that wrong because one's about 3,000 feet longer than the other. Take that out. Careful not to damage the ends. And they slide underneath that cylinder head. And that's another thing successfully removed. Right. So this I'm reasonably happy with here. reasonably happy to get all this out here. Now, this can come out here as well. Let's put this back on that fell off. Now, can I get this through? Oh dear. Yes is the answer. These magnets are trying to kill me. Okay, there's that. And then from the back, this should come out. Like that. Well, this is going to be fun to put that back in, but it's out now, so let's put it in the right place. Right, so I'm going to try and start getting as much out of the way as possible. Let's get this air jet off. So we've disconnected it from the electrics. The only thing that it's connected to now is the front carburetor. So that's come off, and that's the front air jets. Front and rear air jets are different, but we're not going to get mixed up because this one's got a huge piece of bracketry attached to it, and this one's got the oil tank. We're going to get the throttle cable out now, and we're going to get it out complete with the power valves. So I've got the minimal amount of disassembly to do. We'll see how that goes. First thing to do is disconnect the oil pump. There's the oil pump. Disconnecting it. It's as easy as that. Scary, isn't it? And we have a little clip there. Take it off. Get that out here. Put that little clip back on. So that's one throttle, one oil pump. Need to take the TPS off. Might be easier just to take the carb off actually. We can take these screws off. Okay, I'll put this carb in a safe place. Should start to be able to pull some of these things through. There's the TPS and its electrical connector. There's the power valve and its electrical connector. Now I've got to take the power valves off and we can remove all of this in one go. We're leaving the power valve in. There we go. Right, now we should be able to get the entire power valve assembly and throttle assembly all out in one go. Throttle cable out. And put that down carefully. I'm going to take this rear set off because I get as much off as possible. Not sure where the bend is, so they might need to be working on this area. Okay. Over to the parts area with you. So really big thing that we need to get rid of is the oil tank. I'm not sure how we're going to do that. Let's get this loose again. So that's loose. So this oil tank, I'll take this off. This is likely to make life easier. If I just pop this battery cover and oil catchment thing off. Right, let's get the variable edge out of the way, because this looks like a puzzle that's going to need more clearance than exists. Wriggle that forward. We've got the electrics free. And put this in with the other parts. How does this come out? Is the next question. I have no idea how this is supposed to come out. Let's get this off. This oil's going to start spewing everywhere when this comes off. Let's see if I can get this irritating clip out in one piece. I'll carry on feeding this cable back through. Give me more room to work with. That's up there. Get up there out of the way. And now, apparently we just jiggle it out of the way somehow. There we go. Yes. Right. Put that in the parts bin. Now let's get the rear brake off so we can get this out of the way in case they need to heat up around here. We don't want this all in the way. So I'm going to loosen up all the brake pipe and remove the rear caliper, and then we'll see if we can get this tank reservoir out behind here. This is a 5/16. That's the closest fit. I don't know what that is. I don't usually use Freedom units. Is that an 8mm spanner? But it certainly fits better than an 8mm spanner, so I'm using that. Okay, there's that one off. That as well. Now this is all loose, that's all loose. Let's take this off and see if it will come out. There's a little cage on the top that I'm taking off as well. Try and give me some more clearance. Let's see if I can weasel this through. Yep, that was easy. Didn't think that would come through. And let's put this in the parts bin. Let's get the bracket off. I'm going to go around this bike and make sure that we have no more brackets left on. Let's get this boost bottle off. Okay, that's off. And then let's get this cover off. And that is a dry clutch. Right, get this coil off, and we're just going to take the entire bracket off, I think, because that is vulnerable. And that's 2 less bolts for me to undo as well, so I'm happy with that. And that goes round the clutch cable. So let's get the clutch cable off. That's really irritating because the threads didn't line up. That's out now. And when it's in its tightest point, you can see the threads are in the wrong place, so we'll rethread that. Anyway, let's get this coil off. Clutch cable. That comes off, and the screw that goes with it. Let's get this water tank off. Here, there's a bracket under here holding everything together, so if I just take the whole bracket off, because then it's not going to get damaged. There. So a good record of what the routing is for these, because can you imagine trying to put one of these together without understanding how all these cables are routed? Take a look. There's quite a lot off this, which is great progress. It's not everything off it. What I need to do is speak to Maidstone Motorliner and find out what more needs to come off. There are some things that I'm concerned about. These were put on with gasket sealant to stop them stop air leaks, and it's going to be hard for me to get those off. Do we need to remove everything? I guess we do. So things like this little carb heating circuit, these things, these little things here, and there's a small matter as well. This engine is not actually connected to the frame. This must have happened in the accident, I think. This has snapped this bolt clean off. So we will have a look at getting that out and reattaching that for Maidstone. So that's it. I think that's really good. A lot of progress. I thought we'd just one episode. Yeah, just take everything off and it'll be no problem at all. Well, 2, and it's going to be 3. Then we've got to get it to Maidstone. And then putting it back together is going to take a lot longer than pulling it apart. But I will not give up on this TZR. I will not give up on it. We'll see where we go with it. Okay, take care.